Hello and welcome to Survivor with Jay, Jack, and Colleen Special Edition.
Woo,
it is Special Edition because we have a very special guest on the show. None other than, if he was on Heroes vs. Villains, probably the biggest villain in Survivor history, if not one of them. Jonny Fairplay, welcome to the show.
Woohoo! Was Russell not available since he's in Australia with his his tennis injury?
Sorry.
I guess should we say this is an NSFW because I mean that's your show.
Yeah,
podcast.
Survivor NSFW is where you can find me every Wednesday night, and so look for it. Search Apple Podcast or iTunes or wherever you pod, or just go to survivornsfw.com and you'll find my podcast. But yeah, no, I like to be NSFW. I was baptized 2 Easters ago. And like I stopped drinking, and I don't smoke, and I run, and I go to Bible study on Monday nights and all that stuff. And like I have a friend that was inspired by me, and I ran into him earlier this week, and he was like he's from the UK, and he goes he's like hey mate or hey fella, he goes I haven't used profanity in 3 months. And I was just like, okay. He goes, well, if you were as good of a Christian as me, you wouldn't either. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's I don't think it actually says that you can't cuss. I was like, I think that's up for interpretation. He goes, no, it does say, and once again, that makes me a better Christian. I'm like, I think this conversation makes me the better Christian. So fuck you.
Yeah. So let's say there will be adult language on this show. So if you're listening with kids, just be aware.
If you ever listen to me on the Tribe, this is me reliving those glory days.
Sweet.
So some things that we do want to talk about today. I know Jack has some questions that he prepared as well.
We have a question from a listener.
We have a question from a listener too, which is something because we haven't even announced that we're doing this podcast, except for the one we just released.
We had not. Somebody saw the tweet at you saying, "How can we make this happen?" And they sent an email, and the email title is, "If Jonny Fairplay is on the show tonight, ... Here's my question."
Yeah, I will not answer that one. Because you know what? I feel like I'm a better Christian by not doing that too.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like first we gotta maybe talk about the whole. Because we brought it up on this show, so we're talking about it with Jonny, and then that'll be where we talk about it in case people are afraid of spoilers in some way or fashion.
Sure. I don't do spoilers.
Well, I guess, could it be counted as with the whole NDA agreement thing?
It's an inside baseball.
Cast. I don't think cast or spoilers.
Some people are sticklers about it, so I'm giving them a chance. They can turn off for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is now.
I don't think. I mean, if we fucking talk 10 minutes about these two idiots, then this is a shit fucking show.
Well, I saw you had a video on TMZ about
cool.
it today.
I mean, all I do is listen to. I mean, like I'm a vinyl collector, and like today I sold a couple of Modest Mouse autographed albums, and this guy was like, "Do you are you interested in like trading for like CDs?" I'm like, "Fuck no, CDs." He's like, "Oh, are you like anti-digital?" I'm just like, "Look, man, I'm a fucking realtor. I'm in my car all fucking day. All I do is listen to fucking podcasts. That's it. I come home, I make dinner, I put on one side of an album, I start making dinner. To finish making dinner, I listen to the other fucking side of the album. That's it."
It is a beautiful experience. I collect vinyl as well, so I appreciate the medium. And when
you wouldn't trade with him, did he say, "I'm a better Christian than you"?
Well, maybe. But you guys, I mean, like as I said, I listen to podcasts all the time. Like you guys sound like I listen to, like, I watch, everything on Netflix and all the cool movies and stuff. Like there's a podcast that's there's a really good Infinity Wars podcast that sounds like you guys, and like I'm just like, man, like I feel like I'm a fucking Survivor expert, and I also, and for anyone that listens to or that watches wrestling, I do a wrestling podcast called The Botch Along, and I feel like I'm really knowledgeable about wrestling, but like I don't feel like I sound smart on a pod. Like you guys sound smart, so kudos.
Nice now.
Oh yeah.
No, I know. I mean, like I don't know if you are or not. I sound.
I can verify I'm not smart.
Okay, fair enough.
I am like so smart.
Smartest.
You are the whole of the group, so you should. I thought your only job was to go. Oh, guys! Oh, stop it, guys! Guys!
Oh my goodness!
You guys had that smart vibe. I mean, and I listen to, as I said, all I do is listen. I've listened to some shit fucking podcasts, and I mean, just. Do
you want to list them out now?
But no, so far you guys are. I mean, like this is something I would
Johnny's
listen to.
Fair playlist?
Yeah, Fair playlist. But yeah, so I mean, is that just in the short of it? You think? I mean, obviously it was really dumb. I don't understand the reasoning of posting a picture like that, especially if they can have their prize money withheld. I mean, I don't know how good that is, depending on where you land. But
well, I did the breakdown on TMZ, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything or breaking the NDA as I joked about. All right, so first person voted out on Survivor gets $2,500. So the next person voted out gets $5,000, and every person gets a $10,000 bonus for participating in the live finale. Right. So that translates to first person out gets $12,500, second person $15,000, next person $17,500, next person I think $20,000, and then once you get to the jury, it used to be $40,000 if you made the jury. Like that number it could have changed because I know like first place, the winner gets $1,010,000. Second place gets $110,000, and third place used to get $85,000 plus the $10,000 bonus. They dropped that to $75,000 plus the $10,000 bonus because I got $95,000 for my first season.
But is that taxed at like a game show rate? So it's like 50%.
Game show taxes is like 40% right?
Say for Richard Hatch, who didn't. Or we're not going to get that.
Well, see the Richard Hatch thing. Like I'm friends with Hatch.
Doesn't he maintain that CBS said they pay his taxes for him?
But here's as I said, Hatch and I didn't start as. I mean, when Hatch and I first met, he said he didn't respect me. Blah blah blah. This is at the first All-Star finale. I threw my fucking drink at him. I'm like, "Fuck you, man! You don't respect me. I'm fucking great. I know I'm great." I wasn't a Survivor Hall of Famer yet, but I knew it was in the cards. So he didn't like me. So we eventually did the Family Feud, and we became. Actually, I did the running hug like I did on Bonaducci, like when we won. Yes. We won Family Feud. So Hatch explained to me then, and here's where. All right, so he says when he was playing Survivor, his story's changed a couple times, but at one time it was that they found out about some manipulation in the game by a player. Like I think was it Kelly Wigglesworth was blowing a guy for food or something?
Allegedly.
A
crew member, correct?
Yes. So now she blows Joey Amazing for tribal paint
yoga.
or something. Or yogurt, his man yogurt. But anyway, so Hatch has defended that regardless of this happened or not, that they told him that, hey, if you win Survivor, we will pay your taxes, okay? And I don't believe that, but let's just say for the sake of argument that they did say that. So it's like, okay, fine. Like I don't think they did, but okay, I'm with you, okay? If you believe that and you're selling that, I'm okay with that. I'm pretty sure they did not say, hey, if you win Survivor and then get a job as a DJ for $300,000 a year in Rhode Island, we're going to pay the taxes on that too. Because that's also what he's claiming.
Oh boy!
Oh really? Boy.
So that's where I'm like, all right, Hatch, no. They did not say that they would pay the taxes on every job you got thereafter.
Well, or at least make sure it's in writing if you're gonna.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got to get that in writing, at least notarized.
What, on fucking coconut shells? I mean, they...
maybe it's on tape somewhere, right? They film everything out there. The mics are always on, right?
I don't think they're filming that conversation.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they didn't film Kelly Wigglesworth blowing the guy for beef jerky.
Well, they might have, and that might have gone to a very special vault somewhere.
Well, if they had, Jenna Lewis would have sold it somehow to some porn site. My roommate, when the Jenna Lewis porno came out, me and my, I was good friends with Jenna, and my roommate was a little smitten by her. We ordered, or he ordered via credit card that porno. She came over and watched with us.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
And then finding out later, I'm just like, bitch, you could have saved us $20 with the password. This was your shit. So yeah. She's sitting there enjoying the riches of the spoils, I guess, or whatever. Whatever. Jenna Lewis. She's like the top 3 realtor in like Sacramento or something. So follow her on she's like SS Jen on Instagram. She too is a realtor, along with is a realtor in Greensboro, Jeff Varner.
That's right.
So, that's right. Because we're all in Raleigh.
We're in Raleigh.
You're an hour from
relatively
here.
close. But is that a post survivor profession? Like if you're good enough at Survivor, you can be a good realtor, or?
I guess. I don't know if I feel like I'm a good realtor. Well, no, I guess Jeff. Yeah. I think it's the rule.
Okay, if you had to give your fair play list, who's the best realtors? Where do you put them?
If
Jenna's top 3, I guess she's tops.
I think Jenna Lewis is number 1 because the California Association of Realtors, they use Jenna for their videos. Oh, wow. So I think that helps her stock quite a bit. I think I'm better than Varner because I don't out transsexuals when I show houses.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes. So that's what I bring to the table. So, I'll call it, like, if you have a bad toupee, I might say something, but I'm not outing a transsexual during a house tour.
Yeah, that's fair.
You have a line. That's good.
Yes.
Fair play does have an ethical code. It's fair.
It's just I just feel it doesn't help any property value or curb appeal or any of those words that I like to throw out whenever I'm showing a house.
Particularly in North Carolina. So you stay away from any bathroom talk, correct?
Yeah.
We fixed that, kind of.
Fixed
in
it.
North Carolina.
Yeah, that guy's gone. Yeah, here's a little inside scoop on that. All right, so Pat McCrory, the guy responsible for the bathroom fiasco that we lost all this crap. All right, so North Carolina used to have this huge film incentive program, to bring all these people here to North Carolina to film movies, and it thrived the North Carolina economy. Well, Pat McCrory said, we don't want this here. We've got to get rid of this. So it's essentially gone. Like there's no longer the tax breaks, incentives, and all that. And do you want to know why he did this?
Why?
Yes.
Not because he's trying to help North Carolina in any way. No, because his best friend is the founder of Chick-fil-A, who opened up $100 million worth of studios in Georgia.
Oh.
Did not know that.
Where do you think all the they're now offering
to Georgia?
They're offering the same tax break programs that we were offering in North Carolina.
Yep. Now, because Wilmington was a big
shitbag.
Yeah.
You got to love a politician.
Yeah. So no, it's just like, we don't want these here, so that they'll go to Georgia to do the exact same thing.
For him, because that cost him the govenorship. So I hope it was
the
worth
bathroom
it.
bill.
I think I don't know. When I first right after college, I moved to Greensboro, and I never understood how Jesse Helms stayed in office forever, and so I actually went to a voting precinct thing in Greensboro when I first got there just to see, and Jesse Helms would pay these tour buses. They would go to all the retirement homes, and they would make sure that their voting status was intact. They would pick them up on these tour buses, all these retirement homes, take them to breakfast, and then walk them into the voting precincts.
Well, haven't you ever heard Kevin Smith tell the story about that's what Harvey Weinstein used to do for Miramax Films, is they used to go to the retirement home for the Academy Award voter or the Academy voters or whatever, or the SAG voters, like all those members, so Hollywood Foreign Associated Press, like anybody, and they would bus them, take them to lunch or breakfast or something, and then bus them to go vote or whatever for their stuff.
Sweet. I admire it. I mean, like I'm a scumbag too, so I'm down.
It's a play, man.
We need to start doing that for the podcast award.
Yeah,
Is there is podcast award? Yeah, I don't get man, like there's like Rob has a podcast, and then there's this fucking drop, man. Like I'm not like my listeners grow exponentially like each week, but fuck, I don't have Rob numbers.
Well, it's got to take time. We knew Rob at his very beginning. There's always the humble beginning.
Guest.
Huh?
I was his first guest.
Oh wow, see. It's okay. It takes
who knew?
Time.
I didn't know that this I didn't know that computers were going to catch on. See, I feel like did you ever hear the story about George Foreman and Hulk Hogan with the George Foreman grill?
No.
Oh no, yeah, they approached him first, right, or something.
They approached him first, and
really?
And he chose the Hulk Hogan blender.
Yes.
and like the Python blender or the whatever, and Foreman took the grill.
Right. And
good job, Foreman.
If all college students have made a burger on a Foreman grill, or a steak on a Foreman grill at some point in their lives, like I have.
You can also cook bacon. You can also cook bacon on it.
Yeah. Whereas like me and Rob C is like, hey, I'm doing this podcast thing. I'm like, yeah, I'd rather search for MySpace pussy. I think that sounds like the smarter move here. I got a top 8.
Oh man.
I'm Bill Bug Forbidden.
So, main reason you're on our show this week was we weren't even on our own show last week. Our son was getting baptized in New York, but Jack was. What was your statement, Jack, last week?
Well, every week I try and because I've applied for Survivor 6 times and been ignored every time.
Yeah, I never applied just to make you feel bad about yourself.
I always feel better when someone tells me that.
Yes,
but I even drove a Zamboni naked to get on a
yes,
Survivor.
Yes, you did. I have seen that video.
And that wasn't enough, I guess. It was cold. But
cold does not help.
No, it doesn't. But I said, during the family reunion thing, I said, why don't people use this to their advantage? I would like not have anybody. I'd say nobody show up, so I could say that nobody showed up and I get some sympathy. And then I think it was John said, yeah, like fair play. Why don't people use the fair play move? And that just brought the whole conversation around, and but nobody does it.
Well, I think that maybe fair play used up all, like, no one will trust that now from this point on.
I used up all the I'm kind of credited for the first person to bring the outside world into the inside of Survivor. So I feel that I used up all the cachet of that anyone that would attempt anything similar, that there's red flags going up, and it's just and you're jeopardizing your game because that's in the later stages of the game. So right. I think there's that. So, but I saw your tweet, and you added me. So anyone out there, if you want correspondence with Jonny Fairplay, the easiest way is to go to JonnyFairplay.com and order a T-shirt. And with every T-shirt purchase, you get a phone call from Jonny Fairplay thanking you for your purchase. Or, the layman's way, just to get a tweet back, is to find me on Twitter at Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny. And
it worked.
It worked. I'm fucking here. Hopefully, I'm selling T-shirts and and you can go to fairplaypins.com, PINS, Fairplay Pins, and get a Jonny Fairplay jean jacket pin. for
That's
$6.
pens, not peanuts, Jack.
I understood that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the lapel pins are in. They're very in. I have a few.
They're very in. So get yourself a Jonny Fairplay pen for $6. So I think that fucking includes postage. That's crazy. Fairplaypens.com.
Practically giving them to you.
Practically.
Do you get a call or you just send them a letter?
Yeah, you get nothing, but you just get the fucking Jonny Fairplay.
No.
Be fucking happy about the pen, and then order the shirt from JonnyFairplay.com, and then put the fucking pin on your shirt.
Or what if you get the pin and you get Jonny Fairplay's pen pals? With the
pin. I have a Mad Men pin right here that I don't watch Mad Men, so this is worthless to me. So someone gave it to me, and then I have a Tribe Called Quest pin right here.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, but you know, what it brought up, or my reply was, you know, I don't think it's. I think I fucking ruined it for everyone. However, Rupert did have a plan to use my stratagem on All Stars, because the people there had not seen the Loved Ones Challenge before they left.
Oh.
So his plan was to have his wife, who we later meet on Blood versus Water 2, I think, and that is Laura Bonham. And his plan was for Laura to come out and, well, he was going to tell everyone that Laura was pregnant, and she was going to come out and say that she lost the baby.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, that's fucked up. That's terrible karma.
Sounds like a virtuous guy. Why? Like how would that play?
That's
Because
worse.
he's a fucking scumbag.
No, that's bad.
That's worse than killing off grandma. I mean,
Yes.
That's bad
I mean,
karma. That's bad juju.
As somebody that has lost a baby before, bad karma, not okay.
Of course the Holes lost a baby. Oh, really?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, did you pay to lose it?
Oh no.
Oh.
Because that you don't get credit for that.
No. It was a true blue miscarriage.
Oh,
Really
geez,
dark
Louise,
time in our life.
This is the worst podcast ever.
There goes that award.
I'm glad I volunteered Rupert's information here. This is so great.
No. Please,
Wow.
I'm shit talking Rupert. No, that's just bad karma. I'm just saying that's
Yeah, I mean, like the grandma thing. Who has not lied and said, you know, like you're 16 years old, or you know whatever, and you know you're working at fucking McDonald's, and you know you'd rather you know get some pussy and drink some natural light. It's just like, yeah, my grandma died, I can't make it in. Like, you know, no harm, no foul. I mean, my grandma.
How many grandmas do you have?
Well, I just have one, but I mean, she drives around town. Her license plate says "Dead G-Ma." I mean, like she.
Does she really?
I mean,
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I knew that.
Yeah, actually, I believe I knew that too.
Your grandma played along very nicely in that.
Yeah,
situation.
she was all in, but you know, I would like to think that Rupert's wife wasn't riding around, you know, with a dead baby, you know, stillbirth, you know, or something like that.
What made him change his mind?
She wouldn't do it.
Oh, she wouldn't do it.
Oh,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
she has some class.
Yeah, no, he was all in.
Wow.
Oh, man. So the thing I remember at the time,
And like the best is like he's telling me the story. I'm just like, whoo, no, like you know. And I think it speaks volumes when you know when Jonny Fairplay's like, yikes, like
I
that.
don't know if I'd mess with dead babies though.
Dead baby jokes, yes, but the actual dead babies, no, don't. Actually, I thought that I had.
Just imagine. So this is the same guy that won $1 million on the fan vote on All Stars. He doesn't get the fan vote with the fucking dead baby fucking scenario.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
So he needs to thank Laura for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Or that's Laura's $1 million.
I wonder.
It's his island, his adventure, his million. That motherfucker would not be my. It took him 3 fucking years to figure out, you know, because like, you know, afterwards I'm just like, hey, you know, fucking game's over. You finished 8th place. You suck, you know, whatever. I was like, you know, I extend the fucking olive branch, and he was just like, I don't know, Fairplay, blah blah blah. And like 3 years later, he's just like, you know, I've been thinking about. I'm like, oh, you thought about the fact that if they didn't fucking hate me, they wouldn't fucking love you, dumbass. Yeah, you're welcome. I got a fucking fucking check for $880 fucking scale for showing up for the All-Star fucking finale, which fucking boosted your fucking resume. What did you get? $1 million and $10,000 for showing up.
Well, plus his wherever he ended up that season, right? Or no? Do you get like the $1 million plus like 40 whatever and the 10,000?
Yeah. Because the $1 million was an additional prize.
I think he finished 4th, right?
In All-Stars or your season?
All-Stars.
So would he have gotten that plus the $1 million plus the 10?
Actually, no. I think All-Stars prize money was doubled up to the $1 million. So I think he got for 4th place, I think it was $75,000. So I think he got $150,000 plus $10,000 for showing up, and then $1 million for the fan vote.
Wow, and he's a terrible player.
Oh.
I've always said, I'm serious.
I always said
he's a terrible player.
The fucking idiot. I mean, I live with the guy who's a fucking moron.
Okay, so what you're saying is he would not have had your vote when he ran for governor.
Oh yeah. I feel like I don't watch the news so any ability to fuck up shit like that, I'm all in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question because now you're killing me. Okay, first, I know that you're going to say no to this, so I have a follow-up question.
Now I'm killing you. I like you killed that baby.
Oh.
Too soon? Sorry. I have some Chris Benoit material I'm gonna come up with for the next 30 minutes.
It's all right. We had another one after that. So
and he's a cutie.
And he's a cutie and he just
I bet he's
got
probably
baptized.
twice as smart as that one would have been.
Oh.
Is he not smart? Is that why it hurts?
Oh no, he is very intelligent.
I hear he's cute, but you didn't say he's smart.
He's a sweet boy.
They have two, and the older one is very smart.
No, the older one
kids
is
you going through there.
Yeah.
2.
All right. We have
Go
we
ahead,
just
go
have
ahead.
2.
Go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
We have a Zach and we have an Alex. Okay, so first, I have heard that you had a second plan.
What, for the grandma thing?
For your next appearance, that you had another plan to do it again, but you clearly aborted that plan?
No pun intended. I have a plan for when I go back. Or I did. We'll see how everything plays out. But yeah, no, I have a plan for when I go back.
Okay.
If I go back. Sorry.
I
mean, I'm so it sucks because I kind of if they do a Legends, I'm just I feel like at one time I was kind of a fucking shoe-in, but now the more I think about it, I bet if they do supposedly next year they're doing 2 returnee seasons and probably a Blood vs. Water 3 and then finally fucking Legends, and I'm just the more I think about it, they're probably going to bring 2 fucking pre-first All-Star people back, and the rest are going to be fucking Joey Amazings and Jeremys and Malcolms, right?
But and I'm not just saying this because you're on you're doing the podcast right now, but from a Survivor fan, everybody knows who you are. There are winners. If someone goes, "Oh, you remember when such and such one?" I go, well, "Who was that?" I mean, there are winners that I can't even remember.
Danny Boatwright listens to this podcast. Please, you're being cruel, and Kim and whatever the fuck all those other people that don't fucking remember. I just remember that I don't fucking remember them.
Well, I mean,
okay, I have a follow-up question after this, but go ahead.
Yeah.
No. I think it's.
So I have a plan, but I don't want to say it because it'll ruin it. I mean,
true.
because
I
would like to imagine.
We will not tell anybody.
Well, yeah, that's great, but I would like to imagine that there's another, other survivors will listen to your podcast, and even if they don't, there's gonna be some asshole fan that will, Facebook them. They're like, "Hey, if you go back on Survivor, Jonny Fairplay's planning on doing this." It's not that it's not that
we almost had the scoop. I could have asked really nicely. I have holes,
I know. 3
at least
confirmed.
At least
3 confirmed. One of them's much bigger than the other from 2 babies.
Oh yeah, ain't that the truth?
Or maybe not.
Okay. So you have now told us a Rupert story. I have to ask you, do you have any the Queen stories, Sandra? Not ones similar to the Rupert story, but ones that, keep her badassery alive.
Me and Burton were talking to her at some point post Burton coming back, like it was during the individual part of the game. Like me and Burton were talking to Sandra, and like as she's talking to us, she had like diarrhea like going down her leg. So that was
nice.
So there's that.
Well, that happens to all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Poop happens.
Didn't happen to me. I don't know. I mean, like Sandra was just such a non-factor. I mean, like she couldn't swim. She couldn't do it. We knew she would never win a fucking challenge, and we knew that that no one had a problem writing down her name at any given point. So And then it is. I don't consider. I mean, my mom is just obviously she's the greatest player ever to win twice. I don't think so. I feel I took the most two worthless pieces of shit to the fucking end of Pearl Islands.
I love Sandra. She is great.
That's great.
TV.
You can. I don't because I don't respect her game. I mean, she didn't do it. I go, hey, who fucking sucks? Who has fucking done nothing that is fucking invisible that no one gives a fuck about? Oh, that would be Lil and Sandra.
So here's my question: in a post Russell world where he arguably was the best player, but he pissed everybody off and nobody voted for him. If there was a final, final three, would you have been voted for as the winner?
No, because he needlessly said, I think that Parvati played a better game than Russell and Sandra, and I hate Parvati. I think she played the best game of Survivor.
I agree. Heroes vs. Villain, I think it's Parvati's game. Yeah, I agree.
I think she played the best game. On Survivor Samoa, I went back and watched, and Russell needlessly states to the jury and others that he's a millionaire. And at the time, he's a fucking broke motherfucker living in a trailer with fucking leaks. He was not a millionaire prior to that. So telling the jury that you're a millionaire, like you're saying, hey, don't vote for me because I'm not giving someone $1 million that has $1 million. Like Andrew Savage on his first season of Survivor, he goes, hey, I used to be Jerry Springer's lawyer. I just stopped because I'm about to move to California to become the main lawyer over at Yahoo. I just bought my wife a brand new Jaguar, and my house is fucking amazing. That's what he told the Drake tribe or the Morgan tribe, and they're like, "Oh, you're our leader." If he had that conversation, and once we found out that conversation on the Drake tribe, it's like, "See ya, motherfucker."
Right.
Yeah.
Are you're caught up with Survivor? So if I just named random players, you'd be able to give us like a sentence of your opinion about them.
Sure. Yeah. I'll try to limit it to a sentence.
Or two or three. What did you think about Savage coming back for his second chances and the way he went out, which is still my...
He had a cool hat.
He had some great... He had some great hair dye going. Oh, that fucking hat. He's trying to get by that fucking hat, isn't he? So, no, the hair dye was great. My favorite part of that was Savage called me before he went out there, and he was just like, hey, I respect you, blah, blah, blah. Can you please, give me some advice? Like, I don't understand, how, what I did wrong the first time, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I gave him very loose, generic advice, and I was like, the one thing I can give you more than advice is I can give you help. I'm friends with Chaos Cass.
I want to hear your Cass opinion next.
And I was like, she's a good friend of mine. I'm like, she is someone you can trust out there, and I will contact her and tell her to work with you. And he was like, thank you, Fairplay. That means a lot. My next phone call, I could not get off the fucking phone with him fast enough, was to Chaos Cass. I'm like, fuck this motherfucker as hard as you fucking can. home the very first fucking second. They're going to start that motherfucker with the idol in his fucking pocket. Get him the fuck out of that game. That was and she vowed to me she would, and she did.
Nice.
But yeah, that was my bet. I was just, like, you know, he was like he was so happy, like at the end of our phone call, and I was just like, you have no clue, dude.
Oh.
Does he know that you did make that phone call after? Does he know that now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right.
Oh my god!
So do you get fewer phone calls now from people seeking advice?
Phone call Fairplay.
Real quick, the thing that bothers me with Savage is like according to folklore and rumor and innuendo, you know, like Probst, like every time they were, you know, doing returning player seasons, you know, Probst and Savage are friends, and, you know, they're just like, hey, you know, we're doing All Stars, you know, and Probst's like, Andrew Savage should be pretty, and they're like, no, and then they're like, you know, like, hey, you know, we're doing it. He's like, hey, you know, it'd be pretty good. Andrew Savage, you know, fan. He's a big time, you know, fan favorite, and they're like, you know, I don't, you know, hear a lot of fans, you know, so they created the entire Second Chance was just like, hey, we're how about this? Let's do Second Chance, but not like, you know, like the big characters that people really want to see come back. Let's go with like lesser known characters, and let's do a fan vote. And does anyone have the number for CBS Media? Because unrelated to this, my friend Andrew would like to place an ad at the top of the voting thing that says "Vote Andrew Savage."
So what you're saying
that's
is
my problem with
this was in.
We have confirmation now that the hero challenge of that season was specifically made for Savage.
I would imagine. I don't know. I mean, like, I just to create a fucking season for this motherfucker, and the gall of him, you know, is just like, you know, hey, I'm not doing this for the money. Like, you know, I just want to prove to myself and my beautiful trophy wife and two beautiful kids that are much beautiful than any kid you'll ever have, that I'm the man and that my dick is bigger than yours. So, I mean, like, what was that? Was that going to be his final speech? Like, what, you know, hey jury, you know, like, ignore, I will have my hair re-dyed by the reading of the votes, but subtract that from your minds and think about this hat I'm going to put on.
So was the hat to cover up his roots after being there for a little while?
Yes, I don't know.
Could have picked a better hat, though.
That fucking hat is so loud. I love the ridiculousness of that hat. I mean, like, you know, oh, it's so like, what are, like, are you Wendell? Because I don't think you are.
we picked on him every week during the podcast. We wore that.
You say
Good. Yeah, Wendell can ride. Like, Wendell's been in my house. Wendell's been in this room right here wearing.
The coolest player this season, Wendell.
Who I think is the hottest player.
Do you guys not follow me on Instagram? Wendell,
I actually thought I did, but I'm not a very prolific Instagrammer. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty horrible.
Well, I'm sure I posted pictures on but yeah, no, Wendell's been here. Like, I treated him and his brother to dinner. So he's
nice. Is he as awesome in person as he seems on this season?
More awesome. Like,
how can he be more awesome?
He brought both my daughter's presents. He brought me and the girlfriend T-shirts and hats and let's talk about your bed stickers. Wow. So he designs cool beds like that. That's
he's pretty amazing.
Yeah, now he brought. I think he got Piper 2 presents, and he got Madeline 1 present. So, and, you know, knowing that, you know, one would appreciate them immensely more because one's 10 and the other one's 11 months. Right. So yeah, no, he's stud. So and like there's this big charity thing in Cincinnati the first weekend in June, Reality for Diabetes, and if you go to my Facebook page, my daughter is raising money for it. So please donate to hers. My Facebook is facebook.com/Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny. So, but the Reality for Diabetes charity, I invite him to come and join us, and he's going to be there. And he turned down like VIP tickets for the Roots picnic. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, go to the Roots picnic, dum-dum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's beyond nice, but I'm hoping the claws come out for the finale. We'll see.
No, I think
he has my Black Panther vote. So there you go.
Well, I think he wins. I think.
We'll see.
If he gets to the finals, he wins.
I do have no. I think Dom has a better jury
Dom
story.
is my winner's pick for next.
Dom's got the wife and kids. Wendell's a young, good-looking stud. Dom has the better story. But I think the claws come out. So, and if you're looking for a cool Wendell T-shirt, go to JonnyFairplay.com. I have Wendell T-shirts. I have Simple Jack Donathan shirts. In honor of the newly booted Kellen, we have the Kellen Keller shirts available. Got some fun stuff over there at JonnyFairplay.com. I got a Never Go Full Scoopin' shirt. How great is that? So,
my God, no, that's wrong. Never go full scooping.
And one of my favorites.
Actually, it's a good saying though. I mean, it's
and as his mugshot. One of my favorites. I have a Lauren shirt with a picture of Chris Daltrey. Because
Oh, man.
I have a question. What do you think? Was it Michelle that won a few years ago that everyone was?
Michelle.
What do you think? Because a lot of people say that killed Survivor. That she won. What are your take? What's your take on it?
I mean, didn't Survivor One World happen before Michelle won Survivor?
Oh, okay. Survivor One World. I have a lot of thoughts about this season because although it was terrible and boring while watching, Kim was an amazing winner. She's I think Kim is awesome, and
you are a Kim fan.
I am a Kim fan. I'm not a Kim stan though. I will say that.
But hold on a second. You're also a Michelle fan.
No, I'm not a Michelle fan. I said that Michelle, if she got the votes, then she deserved to win because she did something right because people wanted to vote for her.
If the edit has to force you into the story, then sorry.
It just means that you're a shitty fucking TV person.
Well, she was amazing. She didn't upset anyone because she didn't go to tribal till 25th day.
Well, there is that.
So that helps.
Yeah.
No, but okay, but One World, in retrospect, it's like the season that keeps on giving because there's so many things from it that you can reference and joke about and make fun of that it's like an old. Oh, Leaf! It's like, and how he didn't get any kind of screen time.
You had Wendell's first appearance as Bill Posley.
Oh, you had Colton's
see what I did there?
Oh, I see what you did there. You had Tarzan and his poop underwear, and Troyzan and his I know Derek Jeter braggery, and.
Did you know? Hold on, real quick. Did you know for Survivor Game Changers that Troyzan, Sandra, and Culpepper had a final 3 deal, and if Sandra had made it through that last vote before the merge, that probably would have been your final 3. Really? So they subbed out because Sandra didn't make they subbed her. Subbed out Sierra for Sandra.
Wow.
Did not.
And then that fucking advantage.
Or what do you think?
Was
it Ben last season with the
Ben.
5 weeks in a row with the hidden?
Oh, they just gotten it. They wanted to tell the Ben story. I mean, that is what it is. So I mean, I get.
Are you okay with it? Or I felt like that to me was like. Ugh.
I feel like once they fully embraced, I feel like once
I loved Ben. I thought he was great.
Once they fully embraced Ben and Chrissy and Ryan, they went full make Survivor great again. And
I don't know. I mean, I get what they were doing. I as a viewer, I hated it. So, but fuck. I mean, every people say it's just yet every confessional Ben goes I don't know if you caught this. He mentioned that he's a veteran and he served our nation's military, and you have people that are like, well, I mean, that's just the edit. I'm just like, no, motherfucker, these are confessionals on day 36, and he's still saying I'm a veteran and I served the nation's military every fucking day. Sing a new song, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jay, why don't you tell them your biggest gripe about the Idol that we never see actually them finding?
Well, yeah, because it's it's under the bed or under their bed,
under the confessional.
They don't actually show you or show him getting it, and that to me, that's shady. That's shady.
Well, the one he finds before that, he's pulled from camp down this trail to do a confessional, and he finds it 3 steps from the confessional that he was told to stand at.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, as I said, I think they decided to get in the big, and that season sucked. So, I mean, I think they saw the writing on they're just like, fuck, it's we tell the Ben story or
we're
nothing.
Screwed.
And so I get what their decision was. I mean, fuck, I'm stuck. Sex Dr. Mike buys fucking t-shirts just for me to call him every other week.
I do like Mike. I do like Dr. Mike. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's my biggest complaint about Survivor is they
Sex Dr. Mike. I'm with you.
Oh.
Hey, do you guys play trivia?
Yes.
Like go to bars and play trivia?
We did before we had children, so up until 4 years ago.
I do it online now.
Okay, well, I still go to bar. I mean, I don't drink, but I still go to bar. I was actually at one tonight, and my trivia team is Christina Aguilera.
Oh, nice!
Oh.
And I have T-shirts with the Trivial Pursuit things replacing Christina's eyes. And so, anyone out there that plays, Quizzo or whatever, the bar trivia, if you want to, make a team presence, go to JonnyFairplay.com and get your Quiz Tina Aguilera shirts. So there's a team that we battle here in Virginia at a lot of the things, and they're called Trivia Newton John, which I think is pretty clever as well.
That is nice.
That's pretty good.
But I like the Quiz Tina Aguilera. I think that's strong.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it's like where Ben, we know he was in the military. For Jonny Fairplay, we know he sells T-shirts.
Yes. Jesus, yes. So, well, I might sell some fucking shirts. You never know.
No, I listen. I'm in full support of it. Plug away. Plug
I expect you guys to be ordering some shirts. I mean, you did get the phone call.
Well, it's kind of like you already gave the phone call for free, so I guess I'm just gonna get a pin now.
Oh God, you're the worst. Actually, I think I make more from the pin than the T-shirt, so that's fine.
Yeah, margins on T-shirts are tough. Margins on shirts are tough. Yeah. Colleen, I think you had a couple other people that you wanted Fairplay's opinion on, correct?
Yes. Well, Cass was actually one of them, so I'm glad we got that out of the way because I am a huge Cass fan.
Yeah. If Cass and I were both single, we would probably be together.
Aww. That's so sweet.
But we might not. We're kind of like the same person. Like she's like me without a dick. So we might not
it's
be.
probably too much of You can't.
That could be a T-shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait,
maybe.
What would be your couple name there? Chaos Cass and Jonny Fairplay. What would be the couple name?
I don't know. I don't do these well. Yeah, I'm good at everything else. Chaos play.
Chaos play could work.
Chaos play. Like cosplay, chaos play. Yeah. And we would dress up and do fucking dildo stuff. Whoa!
Wow!
It took a violent turn, didn't it?
Yes, it
did. Wow! Who knew?
Oh my god! Okay, what do you think of Ozzy?
Ozzy, Ozzy and I are friends, but he's not very. I mean, the last few times I went to LA to visit, he was just like, dude, let's meet up, blah blah blah, and it's just like, it was like, I'd call an hour after he was supposed to be, where he's like, I fell asleep, and I'm like, all right, well, I flew across the country, motherfucker, so I made it.
Okay.
So I mean, that's just Ozzy. But I mean, I feel like most of the time his heart's in the right place. Like I'm kind of a shitty friend though, because for the fans versus favorites finale, the first one, like I knew that, like, you know, I had the first one out question, and I wanted to exploit it to the fullest potential, you know, and show the baby and all that stuff. And he had confided, like, we had actually escaped from, like, we were all in holding, and me and Ozzy just made a run for it and ran out in New York and got went to a bar, and we were doing Patron shots and stuff, and I mean, like, they had called police and all this to find us, and he had confided in me that he was contemplating proposing to Amanda at the live finale.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there thinking, he had the ring and everything, and I'm just like, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, this could potentially use up my airtime. I don't think that's I mean, do you really love her? I'm like, you know, I heard she fucks other guys. So maybe I'm not the best person to ask about that.
Okay. Malcolm.
Malcolm, I've never met him.
All right. What do you think of him watching him?
I don't. I mean, like, I see what I see. Like, I could potentially be friends, and I could potentially be quick enemies. So I on him, I don't know where exactly I am on the edit versus real life. Is
that Fairplay's approach to every relationship? Like, quick friends or enemies? It could go either way each time.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, because like a lot of people suck. So I mean, like, I'm not going to waste my time with a shitty person. That's just me.
Fair enough. All right. Well,
one more, Colleen. You get one more.
No, I have two more.
Okay, two more.
I actually have three more, but that's okay.
Actually, can you just go through a whole list of all the Survivor?
I'm not going to go through all of them.
Everyone who's been on Survivor.
Yeah. Start. Well, let's start with Wanda, because she wasn't officially on, and then work her way from Borneo up. You know, yeah. So,
well, I wanted to know what you thought of somebody like Abby Maria.
Abby Marie and I have spoken on the phone, and we are friendly. I think she's cute. I just think she's a bit too explosive for me to work with. And she plays an emotional game, and I'm much more methodical and thought. I am emotional, but I don't play the game emotionally and vote emotionally.
All right. Next, I have Corinne Kaplan.
Oh, I love Corinne. I love. So, her tits.
I follow her on Instagram as well, and they are quite nice. I'll give you that.
I mean, I've hung out with Corinne. I mean, like, I've expressed my love of Corinne's tits. So she's
gameplay,
been with.
How's gameplay?
She's great. She's right up my alley. So I mean, she's been with like some like legit athletes though. So like they might have done some damage. So I don't know if I want to follow that, but like tit play, I'm all in.
Yeah, she's a big basketball player fan, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, there could be like 2 kid type damage. You know what I'm saying?
Hello. Hey.
No, I know. You asked for the extra stitch. I know how the game's played. This is better than it was before. No more butt stuff. All right. Just for me.
All right. I'm trying to think. What about... I'm trying to think of a more controversial player. Okay, one more. And this is a write-in from a co-host of mine.
That I refuse to answer. Okay, go ahead.
This is a write-in from a co-host of mine named Shandy from a different podcast that we do, a feminist podcast. And she
Wait. I'm going to warn you. Be careful how you answer this one.
She would like to know.
I will never ever listen to. I do listen to my favorite murder.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I do listen to that. I told you all I listen to is podcasts. So and that's pretty. I mean, like I think if I saw that, I'd like to see them live because like one of them's hot and the other one's not. But that seems like real quick, I went to go see my friend had free tickets for Tori Amos, Alanis Morissette, and like we had to like hold hands just to not get fucking lynched. They're just like, you're at the wrong place, boy. And you're like, oh no, we like the cock. So go ahead.
Well,
sorry.
She wanted to know your thoughts on the players like Dan Foley. Do you remember Dan? From
Danimal.
It was from
he called himself Danimal. Yeah, he contacted me before his season aired, and I was like cool, I'll root for you. You seem like a nice guy. I mean, as long as you don't play like Rupert. And oh my God, was this motherfucker Rupert 2.0? Like I don't think I hated a player. I think I hate him more than Rupert because at least you could have fucking learned from Rupert not to play like him. So yeah, he was pretty fucking.
He was
painful.
A bad player, yeah.
Horrible, yeah. Like the word, like a child, and that's Rupert, an overgrown child.
So you must have some good opinions on Max then.
Who's Max? Oh, Max! Oh, you know what? Max invited me out to talk when he was doing the college professor stuff in Chicago, and like I kept asking for more. He was just like, we'd like to fly you out. Now, I'll take you out and get. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need money. And he was like, okay, well, like let me check. And he was like, the budget's. This is, I'm not paying. I brought in other survivors. Like I didn't have to pay any of them. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to pay me. And then he was just like, hey, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need more money. And then he'd come back with another number, and I was just like, no, because I figured like I'd get him up to like $5,000 or something, but I never. So I never did. I never went out there. So
Oh man.
But like I don't know. Like I haven't listened to Corinne and his podcast because like I heard it's not for me. So
it's a lot of behind. So they talk a lot about the behind the scene gossip of the Survivor stuff. So it is fun if you're into that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Unless you're dishing it.
Well, I mean, I meet, I've met the people that, I mean, like I went to the Hearts, I've been banned from the Hearts Reality thing for 10 years. My ban was finally lifted last year. And so we get there like late Thursday night after the People Magazine party, and we're about to go to the room, and you could see where like the bar is right there. And I asked my daughter, she went with me. She's 10, she was 9 at the time. I was like, hey, do you want to walk in and see if there's anyone there? She's like, yeah. And so we go in and we see Adam Klein,
yes,
and
who seems like a big sweetheart.
Oh my God! So she walks up and he's just like, oh my God, Jonny Fairplay, and Piper's like, Adam. She goes, I just want to say two things. She was just like, I think you're an admirable winner, and I am so sorry about your mom, and it meant so, and like Adam and I both are almost in tears. I mean, this is just like for like a 9-year-old just to be so eloquent and so heartfelt in what she's saying. And as she's finishing her statement, Ty rounds the corner and she looks over and she goes, "And you are the worst."
Oh.
Poor Ty. And she was like, no one should ever trust you in an alliance. and it saved the day from me. Adam and I were both like, whoo.
What did Ty say? What did Ty say?
I am very bad.
Oh, I would have
You cannot trust me. I know good.
Oh, I would totally have a beer with Ty or a martini or whatever he wanted to drink.
Sure, no, he's a sweet, but you don't want like game wise. Yes. I mean, because Witchcott, what's that beast smoke out? He sucks. He in real life he's a douche, but he was in or Ty was in his wedding.
Oh,
wow.
Yes, I knew that. I saw their Insta back in the day.
Yeah, and Ty still got rid of him.
Cold-blooded.
So yeah, bad alliance, very bad alliance.
Yeah. Were you a big Tony Blacos fan?
I don't think I was like I think he eventually grew on me. So because my girlfriend she likes Spencer, so I purposely didn't like him, and Wu was worthless. I think Tony I think I grew to appreciate Tony.
Okay, because Tony's my people, so I love Tony.
Yeah,
he's like everyone in my family that I grew up with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when he came back, I mean, I was on the Tony train on Second Chances.
That was a lot of fun. That one episode he lasted.
Yeah, Game Changers. I thought he was the highlight of Game Changers.
He really was. I mean, when Sandra was gone, that season got kind of boring.
Oh, Sandra was you're insane. And the Queen said, "Fuck you!" Like, get a new fucking line. I mean, like press play on the fucking record. Like, what the fuck? Go 8+. When someone gets voted out and Sarah, shut the. It's not your fucking time, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Let them have their fucking memory. Oh, and the Queen stays Queen, and I'm gonna fucking talk because I fucking talk. Go fuck yourself. Just please let that bitch be on fucking Legends. Please, I fucking beg you.
If you go on, if there's a Legends season, and you got to pick your top 5, or your top 6. What 5 other people, top of your head, is on that season and is in your top? Your I go into the finale with these people.
No.
Okay, well then.
That's not a question I answer.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. That's the same as asking you for your secret strategy. Yeah. Well, then
I mean, why would? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that would be stupid for me to answer.
Okay. Fair.
Colleen, why don't we get to that listener question that Jonny Fairplay isn't going to answer?
Oh, that's
right. I'm not trying to be a dick, but
that's fair. That's fair.
That's just stupid to give away. Who. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
All right. So we did kind of touch on this a little bit, but can you go behind the scenes of your brilliant grandma move? I assume that Dan was always the invited guest and you needed to disclose this to producers. However, could there be room with production to actually invite someone and have someone else show up, or even not have anyone show up? Like,
I don't get. I guess I'm not that smart. I just get really good at it.
Week.
I get the genius at it. I'm a fucking no.
I guess is it basically asking? Was there a plan B if that didn't work out, or if your actual?
No, he wants to know: was Dan always the invited guest, or did you have did you go into it to trick production so much? Because I know production called and spoke to your grandma after, right? And they were confused because they believed it.
Yeah,
is that right? So did you tell them that Grandma was coming and Dan was number 2 on your list, or did you?
No.
Okay. That's what the question is.
I told. I mean, Dan was always the only person that was going to be there. Okay, and I told the people that that needed to know. I mean, I told whoever, like the people in casting that booked the flights and stuff. I told them. And I think I told pretty much anyone that interviewed me, because we did our interviews in Miami because we were shipwrecked or whatever and had to jump off the boat. So in Miami, I told pretty much every everyone that interviewed me, People Magazine, all them. I told them my plan, but I didn't tell anyone from production. And then once we were out there. And day 1, day 2, everyone's like, "Who's your loved one?" I was like, "Mine's my grandma. She loves, her favorite show is Survivor." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "But CBS are assholes because they made me list a backup, and that's bullshit because I don't need a backup. I know my grandmother's going to make it." So at night before we went to bed, everyone would pray. We'd hold hands and pray for my grandmother.
Oh my god!
So this is a long con. This was some Sawyer shit.
Yeah. So this is night 2 shit, or maybe even night 1. We're holding hands and praying.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. The plan was always for Dan to come out, and so I, when I do that, I could just hope for more information. That goes on a lot long. That monologue for me is a 5-minute monologue. I'm just like, fuck this game, fuck the $1 million. I need to know what the fuck's going on with my grandmother. This game doesn't mean shit to me like this woman raised me, blah blah blah, which isn't true. My mom, and dad raised me because I'm white. I'm kidding. So, but no. So they're on satellite phone attempting to get me out for the funeral if there's still time. So,
wow,
yeah, because I wanted to sell it. I mean, I had to sell everyone else on the fact, that I needed, because I didn't care about winning that challenge meant nothing. All I cared about was creating that moment. Right. That moment is what I saw to solidify me as the greatest heel in wrestling television or reality television. So yeah, that was the only plan. It wasn't, it was is it smart to win? I'm like, I wasn't, it had to happen for the moment to happen, but I didn't care about the actual reward.
That's good. But you got the reward in that the greatest villain in Survivor history for that moment. So I mean, but I didn't realize you had to play that long. That's impressive to be able to hold on to that.
Yeah. And the worst is so he comes around the corner and hugs me. He goes, the first thing he's like, Roddy Piper got fired from SmackDown. And I'm like, I don't talk about Roddy Piper. Tell me my fucking grandma died, you dumb motherfucker. And then he backs up and he's like, did you get the letter? I'm like, we don't get fucking mail, dude. Free mail's a fucking work. It's not, we don't, that. No, I didn't get the fucking letter. He's like, oh, she died. And even I got the letter after, and it didn't say she died in the fucking letter.
Oh man!
So the letter just stated, declining health.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Did Jeff Probst know ahead of time? Because I watched the video again today, and he doesn't seem to care.
Oh,
he didn't seem too sympathetic that your grandmother had died. If you watch it, he just goes, "Oh, that's pretty sad, Johnny."
I think his guard's up. He doesn't want to look he gets emotionally invested, but okay. there is a red flag because he's doing the if I go all in here and this is a fucking work, I'm the biggest fucking idiot too. So but eventually no he caves, he buys in too. I mean, fuck, I had Mark Burnett on fucking satellite phone. I mean, I fooled the fucking puppet master. There's no shame in falling for this.
All right, nice.
That's true. Well, we've been chatting for over an hour now, and I feel like that's probably a good place to wrap this up as we go into the late hours in the night. Johnny, we really appreciate your time. Appreciate you chatting with us. And generally when we have a guest on the show, we use our last moments to let you plug away. We kind of mentioned it throughout the thing, but where can everybody find you? Where your podcasts and all of that fun stuff?
Oh, I should have probably mentioned this during this podcast throughout it repeatedly. I'm a veteran and I served in the military. So, and as a result, you can get a T-shirt at Jonny Fairplay. I do have a Ben Never Give Up shirt, but all of my proceeds of that shirt go to whatever Ben's charity is. But sorry, Ben, I haven't sold one of your fucking shirts yet because everyone got tired of you. So, but I suggest a She Died Dude shirt, a heel shirt, a Hidden Immunity Idol with the arrow pointing at your dick shirt. I like the Wendell shirts. I like the Simple Jack. Are you guys familiar with Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, we call Donathan on the Survivor NSFW podcast. We refer to Donathan as Simple Jack because we could easily imagine him in a field chasing butterflies with mallets. So, but yeah, so go to JohnnyFairplay.com, buy a shirt. What's that?
With Aunt Patty?
Yeah, Pat is actually what she goes by. Okay. So he just met Pat shortly before the show. She's part of his dad's side of his family, which he was estranged from, and so he's Dom and she's Pat. Or he's Don, she's Pat. Oh. So that's broken down on this week's Survivor NSFW to great degree, and she does travel with insulin well. So, but but follow me on Twitter at Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny. And please go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes or wherever you podcast. Search Survivor NSFW or just go to survivornsfw.com and then follow the links and click the subscribe button. Rate us 5 stars and listen. So it's fun. And this has been fun. As I said, nothing's changed. I think you guys are still smart and informative and fun. And this is, by Fairplay definition, a good podcast.
Wow!
All right,
we can add that to our resume.
Well, I don't know. There's only so many characters you can use in your Twitter bio. I mean, so choose them wisely.
All right, well, Jonny, thank you so much. And, to everybody else, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace out.